going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and today I am letting you guys know it is okay to embrace the install. Embrace the install, guys. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, when I talk about install, I'm talking about install base. I'm talking the amount of consoles that are out there in homes. We can actually do this now. For people who are wondering what I'm talking about, you know, starting yesterday, numbers came out with the Uncharted 4, how many copies sold, basically how much money was made in the first week, and it was like $200 million, right? The funny thing was, I saw this from like kind of like that Sony camp. They started comparing it to Halo, right? Where Halo came out and they said they made $400 million in games and merchandise in the first week of Halo 5, which is awesome. Now, if you think about that in terms of being a stockholder in Microsoft, it's like, well, that IP, right, sells stuff. It doesn't just sell games, but it sells controllers. It sells like merchandise, all right? And that's good for a shareholder, all right? But having this conversation with one of my friends on Twitter, I would love to shout him out. I'm not sure if he wants to be, you know, if he wants his name out here on one of my videos or whatever. You know, we were talking about this whole thing, and he was like, well, that 400 million, they're not saying how many consoles were sold, and he was giving me numbers that if they sold this many consoles with this many of the limited editions with the statue, that would almost equal 400 million there. And it was all well and good, right? I asked him about the Uncharted 4 limited edition. I believe it came with like a treasure chest and all sorts of stuff. He didn't really answer that. But I told him he should be more concerned about the numbers for Uncharted 4 compared to Uncharted 3. And this is where the install came in. He was like, well, of course Uncharted 3 was going to sell more because they had a higher install base. Now, makes sense, all right? But since that makes sense, whenever these guys are coming out and comparing one exclusive that came out on one console and another exclusive that came out on the X1, they never talk about the install base. They just say either one sold more or one sold less. So now, from having this conversation and cementing it with somebody who is a Sony guy, like he prefers Sony. He does think that the Halo multiplayer is fun and stuff like that. I give him credit for that. But in the end, he prefers Sony, right? So we have a Sony guy coming out basically saying that the numbers of the install base do matter. So guys, now when comparing these exclusives that are coming out, we can think about the install base as well. The funny thing is, people think that the X1 is failing in terms of console sales. Like, I don't know how many times I've heard, you know, people say, well, it is selling more than the 360. And, you know, the numbers don't just go for your rival. It also goes for any past iterations of that type of hardware that you produced. All right, if it wasn't for this huge, what I call like the iPhone wave of the PS4 selling, the Xbox would be ahead of the curve in a crazy way. All right, like it's still selling above the 360. It's doing good in sales. It's just that this whole wave of, you know, people that need a PS4, a lot of people don't even know why they really need a PS4, but the PS4 is sold so incredibly well that people are looking at the X1 and the kind of like put together numbers, because Microsoft isn't really giving out numbers anymore. To Microsoft, it's more about the platform now than anything else, because they're focused on making games that will stretch across different devices. So it's about, you know, who's on Xbox Live. That's the biggest thing. Like, how many people are on Xbox Live? That's what they share with their shareholders. That's what they discuss behind closed doors. All right, it is what it is.
10 seconds.
But now we can actually talk about the install base in comparison to how exclusives sell. So I don't know about you guys, I'm pretty excited about this, because like I said, for the most part, when comparing exclusives, we weren't given that chance. That chance, that was irrelevant. The numbers of consoles out there is completely irrelevant. And now it's not. All right, because we bring up stuff like, well, look at how Uncharted 3 sold compared to Uncharted 4. Then it's about the install base, which I'm happy now. I'm happy we could be like, say such and such consoles, such and such exclusive titles sold like 2 million out of a 20 million plus install base. Not bad. All right, but if it sold around 2 million with a 40 plus install base, that doesn't look as good. All right, and I don't think people are looking at it that way too much. But either way, like, I'm not saying that Uncharted isn't a quality game. It looks like a great game. I think Naughty Dog, from what I've seen from the game, has done a great job with the animation of your character on the fly, to be able to jump from vehicle to vehicle, getting into full combat while grabbing the Jeep steering wheel and stuff like that, and having the animation never skip a beat. So I don't want people to think that I'm hating on Uncharted, but it's just really good to know that we can now take a logical number and put it into the equation of game sales. So by taking that logical number, we also have to go back and look at some of the multiplats and get that average again, where we take the average, that the install base number, the figurative one, because like I said, Microsoft, they're not sharing how many units sold anymore. It's a platform thing now. So, but we can kind of guesstimate, and then we can get an average even with the multiplats. But the thing was, like, the one thing that really got me is when it came to the install base. That didn't matter when Halo 5 did come out. All right, and these guys who prefer Sony anyway, started looking at past iterations of Halo as well. Stuff like that. But it's good to see now. It is a brand new day out here, because now we can use a logical number like an install base, even an average of an install base, and then we could put that together with game sales and come out with a true number, a logical number. So it is a great day for gamers. It's a great day for people who report on gaming news, because now we are allowed to do this. As usual, guys, if you liked the video, definitely give it that thumbs up. I can't wait to see the comments here. I want to know what you guys think about this. Are you happy? This is a brand new day, for gamers in general, where we can actually use logic in determining things comparatively across these consoles. But like I said, if you like the content, you like the gameplay, definitely hit that thumbs up for me. As usual, hit up that comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. But as for now, this is the Xbot 448, and I am definitely signing off.
Wow, Frank, I did not expect that. An eagle. The back. Look at me and white nerdy. I wanna roll with one gangsters. So far they all think I'm